Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to another devlog. I'm really excited about this since it's all about characters. Like, talking about character design is literally one of my hyperfixations. It's a topic I can yap about for hours. It's very fun. And at least for me, and maybe like after I explain my process and like my mentality while going through and thinking about these designs, maybe I can make it fun for you too in a way. Okay, so by the way, like character writing and plot is not thrown a lot because like I don't want to spoil some parts, but maybe mention, like just briefly mention if needed, just to like justify an asset of the design. Also, I'm no professional in like character designing. I never go to school with like animation or like designing in a way, but like this is just the things I've learned as I go on designing characters. So I'd like to establish my like three main objectives. First is like the simple colors. Also, number two is like the shape and the form of the character. And lastly is the anatomy and pushing the limits. So like since we are like animating these characters, like complex patterns and too many colors are out of the window, because like if you're drawing these characters for like animation or like comics or whatever project that requires you to draw them over and over again, just do them simply. Just trust me, it's gonna save you a lot of hassle. Like a lot of good character designs are very simple. Some of them just have like 2 to 7 colors. In anything I design, like form and the overall shape is very important. It can alter how others perceive that said design, from gentle characters having lots of round shapes and softer edges, and with spunky upbeat characters you can play around with pointy features. You can even switch that around if you want to subvert expectations. There's a lot of videos that explain like shape language better than I do, so I'm gonna link those below. Hopefully you guys would eat those up too. Lastly, it's always good to know the anatomy of the character you're designing. You don't have to know every part, like every muscle. That's a lot of work. It's just you should know how every part connects to each other. With that basic knowledge, that's where you can have fun. This principle of pushing your design, it's one of the things I learned when taking an online class on character design. Like, don't be afraid to exaggerate certain assets in that character. As long as you know the anatomy and the proportion, it's really fun to play around with it. Like, shape and form in this principle really go hand in hand. There's a lot of dynamic ways to make your character pop. Okay, I can finally yap about my characters. So, the characters I'll be discussing are just the characters from the short, unfortunately. So, characters like Luma, Cooper, the farm animals are not gonna be included in this. If Jules has a Rottweiler for a protagonist, I'd have 2 nickels. Not a lot, but pretty weird that it happened twice. I know. Okay. I'm gonna come clean now. I think I've said this somewhere before. I just don't remember. But originally, Salmon was a Harper redesign I did for funsies when I wanted to redo Fight to Exist. I really love it so much, and I was like, oh wow, I don't know if I'm going to reboot FTE the reboot again. So I'm gonna save you. Maybe I can use you for something else down the line. In spoilers, I did. So technically at first she kinda has Harper's traits in mind when designing her, which is very different from Sal's personality now. But back then, her personality just literally copy pasted. There you go. She's very spunky, bubbly, and normal main protagonist stuff, doesn't hesitate to say or do what she thinks, very indecisive. So at first she has a lot of circles in her design, but as I figured out and separated Salmon from Harper and really marinated her character in my writing document, I slowly learned about her, which really influenced her design. My concepts, since she's a Roddy, I want to push her design as far as I can, really experiment, really emphasize that she's a Rottweiler. If you see Roddies, they don't have a lot to work with color-wise, which, is great since you can identify them quickly by their colors. They're just, black, like shades of black and brown. I tried using different blacks and browns, but it didn't really work out for me at first. But when I had this color combination of like darker blue and orange, I really fell in love with it. Usually what I have in mind for my design doesn't really need to be that realistic. Like if you compare it to a real life photo, it's more like cartoonish, which I said before. I don't know if I said this before, but which I said somewhere. It helps me to push the limits further. So yeah, no, of course you won't see a blue and orange Rottweiler, but who cares? This is a cartoon. For the overall form of the character, it's quite easy. Again, back to our reference, Rottweilers. If you look at their cute heads, they do kind of look like a rectangle. So I incorporated that at first, and I think having this rectangular form is perfect. She kind of has this feel of she has her stuff together. Being a farm dog and all, she's a routine kind of gal. She just loves being a farm dog, but I didn't want her to have that intimidating factor to her, and because of that, I gave her soft features, edges, because, she's a sweet girl, very gentle. Plus, I gave her these small eyes. I know people prefer those big eyes, but I don't know, it just adds to her sweetness. I don't know how to explain it. Also, I really tried pushing the limits here, especially on her nose. Some people always comment on my style back then on Fight to Exist, with my dogs having big noses, but back then I just don't know how dog anatomy works. But now, out of spite, I just want her to have a big nose. Plus, I think it adds to her cuteness. But yeah, that's Salmon for you. Now we go to our favorite wolf dog, my favorite wolf dog. I've never had a wolf character before, so it was a really good challenge to research wolves and wolf dogs. To be honest, since I do want to have creative liberty, and I don't want to stick with a type of wolf dog or just copy anything I see on the internet. What I did is I researched wolf dogs and how much they look wolf-like, and that's where I based it from. For I know I've put him between a high-content wolf dog to a mid-content wolf dog, since his mom is a sled dog. Also, take this guesstimation of how much of a wolf he is as a grain of salt. I don't want to do a Punnett square, so just think that he has a higher wolf content, and just don't ask me questions about the percentages, because I don't know. Anyways, so back to his design. Since I want more wolf-like features for him, he has these special things I added for him that I won't add in any dog characters, like gradients. He has the only one out of all the cast. He has a gradient in his upper body. If you look at wolves in general, some of them have gradients in their fur, which I think is really pretty. Also, his eyes. Like, this goes for the coyotes later on, and all the wolves, if I ever decided to write more, but instead of like, you know, like having that white thing in their eye, he has a gold one, or like this brownish gold, I don't know, which, you know, most wolves and high content wolf dogs have. It just has this sense of like danger, especially in the dark. It's very menacing. Like doing art of it, it's really pretty. Now we're on the topic of menacing. Someone asked me like, why is he triangle? And that's a really good question. Triangles have these pointy ends, and I like that design choice when they're incorporated with characters that look dangerous or even evil. Just those sharp features in general make them ominous, and I want that to be our first impression of Aino. But at the same time, as we reveal his full design, I want to communicate not just by his spunky and confident personality, but to also by his look that he is not what we think he is. That's why I gave him these large, expressive eyes. Also, he has this wide smile. I just want him to be really expressive and to, you know, his design for it to cater that said expressions. One inspo when designing Aino was when I saw like Glenn Keane's design for the Beast. Of, you know, from Beauty and the Beast. Like there's this sense of intimidation in the Beast design, but there's also some softer features, like the cow ears, also his eyes, you know, human eyes. There's this striking balance of intimidation and like the lingering want to connect with someone. Last thing I want to add is when I was brainstorming with his design, one of my goals for him, since he's the second protagonist, is I want him to be very different from Salmon. I'm not an expert on color theory, but I really want their colors to be different from one another. Also, like I said, with each, if you notice their shapes, I want them to be very distinguishable. Even if you're just seeing both of their silhouettes, you can pinpoint who's who. Yes, the frog. He's a blob. He's just a blob. Like Makawi said, he's literally just a puffball with legs. For his design, I literally just went ham. I based him on those bullfrogs, but did some tinkering with the colors since I really wanted him to stand out from both Salmon and Aino. So I just went on full-on yellowish green, a really bright green. Like I said, on simplicity, I only did like 2 colors, or 3 if you include the eye color. And for his form, I just want to have the chunkiest frog ever. He's just built different. That's why Shuriki likes to eat him for grub. I don't know. So in the short, we're only gonna see 2 coyotes out of many, but early on in the design process, I want them all to have at least similar color schemes from one another, so it's very distinguishable that they're coyotes. For the colors, I've picked common coyote colors, grays, reddish browns, cream or whites. Plus, I tried pushing the design with their ears. They're a bit longer. Also, since they're all brothers and sisters, they're related, I decided to all give them these bright green eyes that stares in your soul. I just don't know, something is menacing with green. If you want to have an example, Scar has this, like, from The Lion King, he has this green schematic vibes going on, which I really love. Also, it really matches with another villain we're gonna have in the story, Graham Crackers, since she's purple. She's just purple. They just share a lot of screen time together, so I think the greens and the purples clash very well with each other. Now we're gonna talk each individual coyotes in the film, which are just two. Yippee. So the first one we're gonna talk about is Makawi. She's the oldest out of the litter and definitely has the big sister vibes. It's a huge number of coyotes. Just imagine like 101 Dalmatians, but coyotes, it's 101 coyotes. So she has the okay, I don't want to say the last decision since they all do graham crackers as bad work, but definitely she has some influence. For her design, I want like very sharp features. Her cheek fluffs, it's very sharp. Also her eyes, I don't know what it's called, but I don't know how to describe it. It's upturned, cat eyes. I don't know how to. There you go. This contrasts with her brother Shiriki. I really had fun with his design. I've always wanted to create those funny, evil sidekicks. Some people connected him with Ed from The Lion King. I don't blame you, because that was one of the inspos I had for him. Also, another big inspiration, if you don't know, I really love Emperor's New Groove. I just love Kronk. I love him. He's one of my favorite characters. He's one of the inspo. I just really love goofy characters. He may not know what he's doing, but he has the enthusiasm, and that is what counts. For his overall form, he has those sharp features to him, but not as much. He has those softer edges to him as well, since I want to have a balance. He's a goof. I don't want him to be intimidating. Also, his face. If you notice his eyes, I just want to feel, if you see him, he's just very pumped, full of energy. He's just mad focused, man. He definitely drank too much coffee or something. Monster energy drink. But my main goal in the future when designing more coyotes, if I ever tend to do this further down the line, is to have them be more distinguishable from one another, since it's a challenge that they have a similar palette. But yeah, that's the coyotes for you. Okay, I think that's all of the characters. So sorry this took a while. I said I was going to... I didn't say, but I planned to upload this during Indie Animation Day, but midterms are not midtermings, guys. I'm a great YouTuber, what do you mean? But yeah, no, thank you so much for the patience. Also, animations right now on my channel is gonna be reduced to maybe just some animatics here and there, since I'm really focused on animating Salmon with all the time I have, unfortunately. I really hope these vlogs will suffice. Hope to see you soon whenever the next devlog is.